Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be test driving the all-new 2014 Opel Insignia. And special thanks to Heron Auto, Opel and Kia for allowing me to come down here today and drive the new Insignia. For all content information in regards to the dealership, please see the description box below. Insignia first came out in 2009. It was the replacement for the Opel Vectra, and I must say it did take off very well. The Insignia is a very nice car, it always has been. It's got very nice design, it always had a very nice interior, and it was not really a step up from the Insignia, more like a huge jump. But this new car is even better, so it is. The interior quality is excellent, there's great kind of touch and feel to everything. Everything has a nice upmarket interior. And it's also really nice to drive. The suspension in this car is excellent, it's very soft. I actually already drove one of these Insignias a couple of weeks ago, just as it came out, but I didn't actually film that test drive. And there's a lot to talk about with this car, so I think we're going to go into the bypass now and go through a few of the different features of this car. Now this 140 horsepower diesel is really nice, so it is. I mean, it's smooth, it's easy to drive, the power is excellent, you know, it's really, really good. The suspension in it is very soft as well, as I was saying, and you can, I mean, I'm doing about 100 kilometers an hour now. It's quiet, I don't have to raise my voice, it's easy to drive, it's really, really very good. My first impressions of this car, when you first step into it, is the interior. It's really nice, everything's well put together. Every version of the Insignia, apart from the entry-level S, comes with this touchscreen IntelliLink satellite navigation. You also get climate control and cruise control and Bluetooth, and it lifts up, read out for your speed, all the standard. Seems to be doing very well. I mean, this road is perfectly smooth. The car is just so nice to drive. There's very low wind noise. It's quiet. It's relaxing. And these seats are very nice as well. There's a very good amount of side bolstering on the sides here. They hug you in very nicely. They're very comfortable. And then there's the dashboard layout. Everything's very simple. Everything's clean. You know, there's nothing overly complicated. It doesn't have too many buttons. Nearly everything from the radio, for example, works off the touchscreen sat-nav unit here. Now we get to the power. As I said, it has 140 horsepower, and you know, you can really feel the power kicking in as soon as you put your foot down. I'm doing about 83 kilometers an hour now. I'm in fourth gear. If I put my foot down and shift into fourth, it just takes off. Really very good. It's just a relaxing car to drive. Gear changes are smooth, which is actually another thing I want to get onto. The previous Insignia did have one problem. The gearbox felt a bit heavy and felt a bit clunky. It just wasn't the smoothest one ever. But the gearbox in this new car is much smoother now. It's a lot lighter. The gear changes are a lot nicer as well, a lot more crisp. Changes to the exterior include headlights. It now features brand new halogen projector headlamps and running LED daylights. It also has a slightly narrow front grille. Coming around to the rear, we find that the taillights have also been made a bit smaller. They're full LEDs and have a dark tint, which helps add to the sporty styling. And also the reversing lights are integrated into the chrome strip.
Now this particular Insignia I'm driving is the SC 4-door Saloon. The basic Model S doesn't come with sat-nav, but the rest of the range does get sat-nav as standard, as I was going through earlier, and that's very impressive. When Opel were designing this car, they were designing it to compete with cars like the Mercedes C-Class and the Audi A4, and you know, they've certainly done a good job. I mean, the interior of this car feels so upmarket. It's really, really good. It's hard to compete with, to be honest. I can only imagine what the high-spec Elite Insignia is going to look like whenever I see the inside of one of them. So we've driven it on the bypass, and I said it was very smooth, and I was very happy with the ride quality. Now we're going to go onto a back road here just to see what it's like, you know, how it can cope with a few bumps. So So as you can probably see on camera now, the road is a little bit bumpy, but I'm happy to report that the chassis in this car and suspension is so good that, you know, it's soaking up all the bumps very well. You know, you can barely feel it in here, to be honest with you. One problem the previous Insignia had, well, it wasn't much of a problem, but the suspension in it was a bit on the stiff side. A lot of other on-road reviewers actually reported that they found it, you know, just a little uncomfortable, and it was just a little bit on the hard side. But you can definitely tell that Opel have changed that with this new car, because I'm really happy with the way this copes on these bumpy roads. So far I'm really happy with the new Insignia. I love the styling of it. I think the interior is excellent. It's very well laid out. It's very well put together. You can see my full review of this car by clicking the link in the description box below. And to drive, you know, really good as well. Suspension is excellent. The handling in this car is really good as well. The power is very good. You know, it's kind of hard to think of how they could have improved this anymore. I mean, I honestly can't think of anything about this car that I don't like. I suppose I'm not a big fan of what they're doing on entry-level cars. Now, this is actually kind of a global issue, I think, with a lot of manufacturers. They're still offering manual wind-down rear windows on basic-level cars, which I think really kind of takes away from the appeal of it. I mean, this SC, for example, has manual rear windows, which I think on a car like this, you know, one that's as luxurious as this and as well built and as well put together as this, you know, it seems a bit daft, really. I would rather they just put in rear electric windows as standard, but that's just my opinion. But apart from that little flaw, you know, I'm really happy with this car. It's definitely something I would recommend. It's actually very well priced as well. I'll actually put a price list in the description box below as well. Other things it comes with, it has automatic headlights, and as I said, it's got cruise control, and the Bluetooth in this car is very easy to use as well. I've actually paired my phone to it. Very straightforward, not overly complicated, very sophisticated system. So if you are out there and you're looking for, let's say, a mid-range family saloon, something that's affordable, has good fuel economy and a decent amount of power, and it's very spacious in the inside and has a nice upmarket feel but doesn't have the upmarket price, Insignia, definitely the car for you. Definitely worth testing it out anyway.